Welcome back to Formal Fitness, everybody. I'm your host, Jim Dandy, and today we are talking about heart rate. Welcome back to Formal Fitness, everybody. I am your host, Jim Dandy, and today we are talking about heart rates, the magic number. So, a lot of people don't realize your heart rate can account for a lot of whether you're going to succeed or not succeed at your dietary goals. So if you're working on losing weight or you're working on improving your overall health and body function, where you keep your heart rate during your routines is very important. Now, we've already discussed in previous videos, diet can play a factor on heart too. You know, fatty diets, not good for the heart. But today we're going to talk about controlling that number. So one thing I love about the cardio machines is they measure your heart rate while you're going. Some gyms even have little handheld devices where you can check your heart rate. You can also, if you want to feel for a pulse and kind of time that to, if you have a watch or something on like that, and just kind of count that way. But the first thing we're going to talk about is a healthy heart rate. So to calculate that, I've got my calculator here. Some of you are better at numbers without the calculator, that's fine. We're going to talk about that glass ceiling for the heart rate first. So to figure that out, you're going to, on your calculator, 220, and you are going to minus your age. My age is 36, so I'm going to minus 36, and that gives me 184. So I do not want to go any higher than 184 on my heart rate. Now, the higher heart rates, that's more for cardio. Cardio being short for cardiovascular health. So if you have high blood pressure or high cholesterol, and you're working on improving your heart health, that's a good number. Now, it's something you want to ease into if you're somebody who's overweight and you're not very healthy and you get on the treadmill for the first time and you run an hour at 184. You know there's health risk involved, so I'm not going to tell you that, obviously. But if you're working on improving that heart health and burning calories and things like that, those higher numbers are best. Now, there's a difference between burning fat and burning calories. A lot of your cardio equipment is going to tell you you've burned X amount of calories. Well, calories are not necessarily fat. Calories are your caloric intake, or what you have eaten or drinking that day that is adding to calories consumed. There are actually 1,450 calories in a gram of fat. So that is how many calories you would have to burn to actually burn a pound of fat. So you get on the treadmill and you think, oh, I've burned all these calories, and you get on the scale and you're thinking, you're depressed. Well, calories are not fat. There's a difference. Now, burning calories is good, but there's a better way to burn calories and burn fat at the same time. And that is with building muscle. And I know I've discussed that in a previous video as well. I'm going to touch more on that subject in another video. But for now, I'm just going to show you how to calculate a lower heart rate. So we talked about the higher heart rate, the higher, that glass ceiling number, good for cardiovascular health. If we're muscle building, if we're working on actually burning fat and not so much just burning calories, we want a little lower number, but we want to sustain that number. And when I do a lot of my warm-ups, I try to get to this number and maintain that number for a good 8 to 10 minutes before I move on to my lifting routines, because that's going to maximize my muscle production. So for that, we're going to take that number again, that 220. This time we're going to double our age and subtract that from the 220. So 36 plus 36, that is 72. So we're just going to take that 220 and we're going to minus 72. And that gives us 148. So that is the number we are looking for. So if you are doing warm-ups and you're doing, the treadmill, the elliptical, the exercise bike, whatever it is, that is the number you want to look for. It usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes to get to that number, and then I like to hold that number for a good 8 to 10 minutes. So usually about a 10 to 12 minute warm-up, depending. You want to get that number, you want to maintain that number, you'll feel it, you'll feel that heart working, and then you jump straight into your next routine, whether you're doing shoulders or biceps, whatever it is. Having that number where you want it is going to help you, and as you continue to do your routine, your heart is going to stay in that zone until you finish your routine. Now, if you're kind of idle between exercises, you know, obviously, you'll notice some people at the gym, they'll do a few routines, they'll jump back on that treadmill to get that heart rate back up where you want it. It's important to keep your heart rate where you want it. So that is calculating the heart rate and figuring out where you want that heart rate to be. So, as always, like and subscribe at the bottom. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until next time, this is Julian signing off.